And welcome to The Good Place. If you don't know who I am, I'm Kim Tisor. And if you don't know who I am, you're probably not going to like this video. You're not going to care about it. It's really for those who've been following along, as well as for those who have followed Church Militant, because I want to give you an update on my Where Are They Now series involving former Church Militant employees who were on air, and you want to know where they are. But before I give you that update, I was just reading an update on Pope Francis. Many of you know that he was hospitalized on St. Valentine's Day, February 14th, and they say he is in critical condition. The Vatican News is reporting that the Pope is not in, quote, danger of death, but is not completely out of danger either. So let's please keep him in our prayers. Physicians say they are worried about the threat of sepsis, which of course is a dangerous infection that could prove fatal. So let's just keep him in our prayers. Okay, so some of you know that I mentioned I was going to do this Where Are They Now series involving those that were on air with Church Militant. And a few have responded that they want to be on the program. I have Brad Eli lined up, Dr. William Mahoney, as well as Hunter Bradford. And I'm so embarrassed to tell you, I had today's interview lined up with Hunter. We actually started the interview. We were about 30 minutes into what was probably going to be an hour-long interview when I realized we weren't recording. I was mortified. Okay, I've never felt so stupid. And I realized that when I looked at the screen that's over here to my left, and it didn't say recording, it just said record, as if I had never hit it. And I thought I remembered hitting it. It's like broadcasting 101. But I think now I know what I did because I remembered hitting record. Now, okay, let me back up. I just got this software to do this yesterday, though we had used this. It's called StreamYard while at Church Militant, so I'm familiar with it. Yesterday, I took time off from work and played with this just to familiarize myself with it again. I know that you have to hit record, okay? But I think what happened in all my excitement, it is a two-step process on here. You hit record, but then it asks if you want to add an intro to it. If you don't, that's fine. You have to hit record again. So I think what happened is I hit it once because I remember doing it, but then I didn't hit it again. So all that to say, I don't have my interview with Hunter yet because we just had this window of opportunity in which we could record because he had something going on a little bit later. And then I had to go into work. As a matter of fact, I just came home from work. If you all don't know it, I sell people's final resting places. I work in a Catholic cemetery and I love it. Very different work than doing this on YouTube, my creative outlet, which I enjoy. But anyway, for those who were anticipating the interview with Hunter, because I mentioned it on my community page on YouTube, and several of you said you were looking forward to that. Well, it's not happening just yet. We're trying to work out our schedules to see when we could do this. And I'm going to tell you something too that just made this extra disappointing to me. And that is when Hunter and I first started talking about maybe doing this, I said, think of something that you would like to discuss, some Catholic teaching that you think those watching who may not be Catholic might find interesting. They would learn from it. Because I know there are people who watch who are maybe on the journey toward the Catholic faith. And he said, basically hands down church authority. I said, I love it because that is a teaching that actually helped bring me into the church. It was very instrumental. And so this was great. So we were prepared to talk about that, especially Hunter. He's really been doing his homework. And it was this morning when I was reading the scriptures for the day that I realized today is the feast of the chair of Saint Peter, pointing to the Pope's authority. Okay. And of course, the gospel reading involved Jesus giving the keys to the kingdom of heaven to Saint Peter. It all kind of lined up. And I was like, that's amazing, God. Only you could do that. And to think we're talking about that today, that is amazing. Because I hadn't looked ahead. I didn't realize that's what today was until today. Even though the interview wouldn't have aired today, probably would have released it Tuesday or Wednesday. I thought that was just kind of fascinating, I guess, that it was, lined up on such a special day, but wasn't meant to be. So be praying that I figure out how to use this equipment correctly. I'm just so embarrassed. So I'm so sorry. But I wanted to come on and say hello. I'll figure out what I'm going to do in the meantime, some other video. I think I know what I want to talk about before I can get with Hunter. And I'll get with Brad, see when he wants to shoot an interview. And he's wonderful. I'm sure you remember Brad Eli if you watched Church Militant. So all that to say, I hope that you've been having a blessed weekend. I hope you have a wonderful week next week. I will crank out something else soon that I trust you will get something from. I hope so. And if you've watched this, thank you. Feel free to put in the comments kind of what you'd like to learn more about or hear. I've really been thinking about doing conversion stories. I used to have a podcast about a decade ago, a true podcast, not video, but audio, where I talked to people about their conversion stories, their conversion to Catholicism. And it was called Our Catholic Way. And I loved it. I did it for about a year. It was in 2016, however, though, that I stopped it because I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And that just took my life in a different direction, trying to focus on my health. And so anything I had in life that was considered extra, I just cut out. I got rid of it. And that was it. And I have missed it. And when I started this YouTube channel up last year because of a breast cancer recurrence, so I did the opposite. I started doing something new. I just needed something uplifting in my life. So I started doing this as well. I was laid off from Church Militant and I had time on my hands. So I started this channel. I really didn't know which direction I wanted to go in. And I wasn't sure that I wanted to do conversion stories again, as much as I loved doing them. I love hearing from people and hearing their stories and how God worked in their life. But I don't know. I'm thinking about doing that again because I do miss it. If you would like that, please let me know. If there's something else you would enjoy, let me know. And I realize I'm just rambling. But anyway, just know I'm so embarrassed. Have you ever experienced that? You've done something, you just felt so foolish. Trust me, 30 minutes into it, when I realized I wasn't recording, I could have smacked myself. But yeah, things happen. Accidents happen. I'm just glad that I'm friends with Hunter. It wasn't someone else who probably would have been really upset. So he was very gracious, let me tell you. So anyway, that's all I have. Thank you for watching. God bless. Let me know how you're doing in the comments section, and I'll have something else for you soon. Something well thought out that hopefully I'll actually record. Okay. Bye.